Hello and welcome to Bendy, a podcast about being flexible in all of the ways that means. Thanks for joining us. My name is Andy Young, and I'm one of your celebratory commemorative. Oh no, wait, I'm gonna need to restart that.
Commemorative?
Commemorative. Yeah, that's what I was
Did I
gonna.
get it?
Yeah, you got it right. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, let me just restart. Okay. Celebratory commemorative. Okay.
Those are hard to say
I know.
together.
I knew that was going to be challenging. Like, I don't know why I didn't warm up for them. Celebratory commemorative. All right. Okay. Okay. Three, two, one, go. Hello and welcome to Bendy, a podcast about being flexible in all of the ways that means. Thanks for joining us. My name is Andy Young, and I'm one of your celebratory commemorative hosts. Joining me, as always, is our other celebratory and commemorative host, Beth Martin. Beth, the pleasure as always. What's the crack?
You did a good job
I, I
with your enunciation there.
a peek behind the screens, folks. I did, and this is
Oh,
only because it's a very special episode. I did do a second take on our opener because celebratory and commemorative are a tough combo, and I knew I was setting myself up for a fall. But that is the kind of level of excellence I aspire to for all of you out there.
so happy 50th episode.
I know what the actual fuck.
We did this 50
I know
times.
we did.
Well,
Good
that's
for
not
us.
true. It's more like 51 because that
Yeah.
time that I forgot to record and we didn't have Zoom as a backup. So, I'm proud of us.
I know, so am I.
We're like doing it.
We are doing it, and we're
It's
sticking with
cool,
it.
and I know, and I'm enjoying it. And it's
Yeah.
funny, like I think it's more. I don't know if it's more for me or us than like other people,
Yeah.
but not that we don't love you listeners, but like Andy was in Portugal, so we skipped a week,
Hmm.
and it was super
It
weird,
was.
just
It
like
was.
not having our like weekly chat
Yeah.
about nothing.
Yeah.
So
And everything.
and everything, right? Not it's like I don't know what are it's not this isn't small talk, it's like big talk.
Yes.
Um or maybe I don't know, in between talk.
Or dumb talk.
Or dumb talk.
It's
But
everything.
I'm just
Everything
I'm
talk.
glad, yeah, it's everything. So I'm just grateful that we're doing this and
Yeah.
you're willing to stick with it. And
I love it.
I think I definitely appreciate and like look forward to it every week.
Yeah.
And it's something I've totally come to rely on
Absolutely. Me too.
in a very like not sad way, you know?
No. No, not at all. I
So
mean,
I
like,
think
it's
it's really
good
good.
to,
Yeah.
yeah, it's a good thing to think about and to like look forward to, I think. And it's nice. There are
Mhm.
plenty of other things that I kind of maybe dread's too strong a word, but like that I am kind of, ominous about that, but not this. So it's just nice. It's nice to have something like that in your life.
I agree. So hopefully
Worth
we're bringing
celebrating.
that. Yeah, it is worth celebrating. And hopefully we're bringing a little bit of that into people's ears every week. So,
Uh, not so worth celebrating. I did try to price up fireworks sound effects, and they're out of my price range.
mm,
So,
yeah. Wow, that's really nice of you.
but
How how much are fake firework sounds?
like I mean, it was on an album, so it was like
Oh, you
it
have to
was
pay
like
copyright.
9.99. I'm like,
Oh,
screw that.
nah, nah.
But yeah, I mean, maybe I'll find a free one, and if I do, you'll know because it will be on the episode somewhere. It'll be fireworks. It's also whether I have the time to do that, so it's highly unlikely.
Yeah,
Uh,
no, you're no, no.
we'll get there eventually. We'll have sound effects at
Yeah,
some point.
maybe.
Yeah.
Um, yeah. So crack,
Yeah.
I finally saw Deadpool and Wolverine.
Uh-huh.
Do
How'd
you
you
want to talk
find it?
about it?
Yeah, I do.
I li- I liked it. It was a little long, but
Yeah.
I know they also cut a lot out. Uh,
Uh,
it definitely
before
felt awkward with my then 7 and 9-year-old in the auditorium
I'll bet.
because I'm the best mom in the world. But
I
like
there wasn't anything. I mean, like there's lots of
anything that
swears.
it yeah, but that's it's like anything that's like, like a joke, like they don't get the jokes, they
Yeah.
don't get. they don't get half of it. They just like his character says fuck, to
Yes.
them that's the best thing ever. Like he's funny and he has a dog now,
Yes. The
so
dog kissing him in the mouth and stuff like that was hilarious.
the whole time.
I, b- Before we go any further, should we say
Yes.
is it like spoilers ahead, or should we avoid spoilers, or what do you think?
I think, yeah, spoilers ahead.
Yeah, okay. So just I guess if you haven't seen Deadpool Wolverine, just like maybe skip ahead like 3 minutes. But like yeah, we're just going to talk about it a bit more
Hmm.
openly.
Hmm.
I, what I was surprised at by it and what I really thought was great was how it was essentially like a celebration of the like Fox Marvel movie. So like, Fantastic Four and
Yeah.
Blade and like Daredevil kind of,
Yeah. Yeah.
and also, the old X-Men movies and things like that as well.
Hmm. Hmm. Yeah, I did like that. I, it's interesting. It's kind of like, it's a little like watching The Simpsons, where you're like, oh, I get that reference. Oh, I get that
Yes,
reference, So it's just peppered with
it is.
all of these different references. Some of them I think are inside jokes between the cast and crew, honestly, and writers. Like whoever worked on the movie, they've got their own inside jokes that none of us know about.
Yeah.
Or friendships that people have, like
Yeah.
I think it was Deadpool 2 where or 1, it doesn't matter, but like where he's wearing Taylor Swift's cat shirt.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's like all these little things that where you're like, oh, I think I get that. I think I get that.
It's like it's just so thick and fast, and like and I really liked Chris Evans in it. It's just a reminder to me. It's like I really like watching Chris Evans. I wish he would make more good movies because he's
Yeah.
just like since post Captain America, he has just went whatever, give me a paycheck,
Yeah.
and like
Yeah.
I respect that to an extent, but I feel like he's such a watchable guy. I would love to see him in something, I don't know, good, I guess.
I would agree with that. I would agree with that. And I think he's I get the sense he's made enough money. Like he just got married and
Hmm.
he's probably, you know, maybe trying to have a family and
100%.
like just I think he's just trying to like live his life.
And I'm
And I
like
think
all for that.
I
Like, I
don't
mean, do it.
yeah, yeah.
Because
But
like,
but when you have such a like Kathy Bates just said she's retiring from acting and I was
oh
like,
wow.
"Oh fuck, no," right?
Yeah.
Got all these Wolverine and Deadpool spoilers, but I was so disappointed. I'm like, "But your art is forever like your art is so important,
It's true.
Kathy Bates." Like,
And yeah.
yeah.
Uh, but
So,
like I also respect anybody who's like, this is my time, I'm done,
yes.
I'm out of it. So
Yes.
like fair play to
Yes.
her, honestly.
I
But
yeah. I like the part so there's a scene where they've got like the giant Ant-Man suit that's like the
yeah.
fortress or whatever. And like Deadpool's like, "Oh, Paul Rudd finally aged."
Yeah,
I was
yeah, it's
like,
so great. And
so it's
there's
like
also
the jokes are so
they
good.
are. There's also a joke about Hugh Jackman's marriage at the end as well, where they talk about him,
Yep.
and it's like, what
The
the
divorce. I know.
nuts?
Yep.
I do, and I also really enjoyed the what was it, Nice Pool? His like him trying to do the fourth
Yes.
wall thing, and he just goes
Yes.
the
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 proposal.
proposal, yeah. And Deadpool's reaction to that was fucking interesting. What the fuck was that? No, that's the market. Okay. So yeah, like I think because I was mostly disappointed by the second one,
Hmm.
so I it was fine, but I really thought it was I was whenever Deadpool movie came out, I was like, this is not going to be for me, but I loved the first one, and then
Yeah.
the second one was much more what I thought it was going to be, which was just like really very self-congratulatory, blah
Mhm.
blah blah. But like so I was a bit worried about this, but I really enjoyed it, I must say.
It's kind of like when you go to someone's wedding, but instead of like sometimes weddings are really like about the couple,
Yeah,
and sometimes a wedding is more like a thank you to the people that like support them.
yeah,
And that's what it felt like was like a thank you
I did very much so. So yeah,
to
I
the fans and to
mhm.
like, to Fox and
Yeah,
to each other. And I just like I ate it up.
which was kind of nuts. Like, just that it was not what I was expecting from it at all. But yeah,
Mhm.
very good. I
Yeah.
enjoyed it.
There was
Give
a
it
lot of
no.
humility. And like I liked how it's like he made Hugh Jackman look like the hottest man ever. And the
Hmm.
dude's like 55. He's
I
got two
know.
kids. He's divorced. And you know that Wade Wilson was like, I'm gonna make him look the best he's ever looked, and like he's gonna get some dates and he's gonna get like his life on track, you
Yeah,
know?
yeah, 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 yeah.
So
True.
I really enjoyed it. So
Yeah.
yeah, that's my crack.
Yeah, good. No, I'm glad you enjoyed it. Okay, so
And
my
I was
crack.
like, just so people know, I was like, guns are terrible. This is fake. Like, don't,
Yeah, yeah.
this is all bad. So I did walk the children through that. So
I think, ultimately, like he's not a good dude. Deadpool's not a good dude.
no.
He's just,
And they know, yeah. I'm like, he's they and we had that conversation. We were leaving the movie theater and they were like, is he a good guy or a bad guy? And I was like, he's a good guy, bad guy.
yeah,
And those exist in the world, you know?
anti-hero, I guess. Yeah.
Mhm.
No, I'm glad you enjoyed it. So
But
my crack,
you,
I've got a good one. So
oh, okay.
my
I'll be the
choir.
judge of that.
Oh, you're gonna love it.
Okay.
So my choir, I don't know whether I told you what I was going to do for this, but my choir
No.
had their AGM last week.
What's
Did I?
AGM?
So annual general meeting.
Okay, right.
And
You were talking about how you were like stressed about it,
yeah, I mean, like,
about what you were gonna say.
me stressed? It doesn't sound like me.
I know. I was
Uh,
like, hold, yeah, stop the
Stop the
presses.
presses, anti-stressed again. So okay, so they had been asking me for a long time, the choir, that they wanted to do a social event as well. So I was like, okay,
Oh,
well,
okay.
let's fold these in together because the choir proper is starting this week for our Christmas term and our
So
winter
like a
term, I guess.
social event in your country would be like a party?
Hmm. Yeah, I mean,
Okay.
like, I'd say social event in this country is often going out and getting drinks, right?
Okay, I like going to a bar. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I was like, I don't just want that. I want something a bit more interesting. So you know what I did?
What'd you do?
Set up karaoke.
I knew it. I was like, somehow karaoke is going to be part of this.
I was and like like I said, I think I talked about in our last episode, people can be a bit more conservative and they don't like want to dance and stuff like that. So it's a bit harder to get people up to sing. But because everybody does sing and is there to sing,
Yeah.
it was slightly more
Yeah.
easy to get a buy-in.
Totally.
So
It's
like
genius.
because none of them have heard me really sing before because I've just been so busy with other stuff and also like just not in a great mental place to really be singing in the choir in recent sort of terms that they haven't really heard me sing. So they're like, oh, we're gonna hear Andy sing, and I'm like, this has to be a disappointment. So I kicked the night off by singing a few different songs, and then like once I'd got the ball rolling, it was just like 2.5 hours solid, just people coming up and they had such a blast. The feedback was so good. People were like, "We have to do another one so soon," and all this. So yeah, I, it was great for me because like I feel like if I really put my mind to these things, I can be quite good at putting stuff on and like recognizing what would work. Uh, I'm not going to be successful all of the time, but it was I felt quite a nice sense of achievement, kind of putting that together. So it was good,
That's so great. I love I love that. I love that.
so good.
And I think both of us get great joy from putting events together and then seeing people have a good time and
Yeah.
like being like, ah, I created something for people to, and it's not even that. It's like people are enjoying themselves.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, like, and like, I said in the night, we had the annual general meeting was just essentially like, this is the past year, this is where we're at currently, this is where we're gonna go. And I said, like, at the end of it, I was like, look, have fun, this evening. What I would like to ask is that one of the most important things about this choir for me is all the connections and stuff that has been made via it, all the friendships and stuff that have grown from it. I want to keep that ball rolling. So maybe if there's somebody in the choir that you've never really talked to before, maybe go over and say hello to them tonight. You don't have to, but maybe. And some people did do that, you know what I mean? And I just see
Mhm.
the kind of wee community growing even more as a result. So it was very, very satisfying.
That's so great. I love it.
Hmm.
Good job.
Thank you. I was really, yes, it was great. And like I was my like I already had sore throat. And the next day it was a write-off completely because I'd been
Right?
singing so much. So yeah. But yeah, it was awesome. It was very, very good fun. So that's the crack with me
Good.
this week.
Okay.
Do you
Do
have
you?
handy what's occurring?
Not this week, no. Do you?
As it's our 50th episode, I have to do
Ooh,
a Andy's Down with the Streets.
yes.
So this is a kind of a two-pronged one. I'm going to explain the word initially, and then I'm just going to explain something that related to it that I think is quite fun. So the term is Sigma. Um, so do you know what Sigma is or what it might mean? I mean, I'm sure you know what Sigma, you've heard of Sigma before, but in this context,
Yeah, no.
so it kind of follows that sort of
Like it's
pattern.
Greek, right?
Yeah. So like,
Okay. So I know it in terms of like fraternities
yes. So like, it kind
and
of
getting
follows
drunk.
yeah, it kind of falls under that. But like,
Okay.
the
Okay.
pattern of in recent years of alphas, betas, things like that.
Yeah. Yep.
So a sigma is somebody who does not fit into the like traditional mold of an alpha, but they are
Mhm.
like quietly cool in the sort of background, and
Okay.
influential. Um, so if you could in the future say things like, Andy, you're being so sigma right now, or I've noticed you've been real sigma recently, Andy, that would be a real kind of confidence.
Like
just,
woohoo.
but you're just being low key cool right now. Yeah, that would really help me out. Just generally, anybody that's listening, if you want to tell me I've been really sigma recently, it would be great. Um, so the second part of this is and how I kind of came to this was there is a phrase, what the Sigma, that has been doing the rounds everywhere. So it's just what the Sigma question mark. And I heard about it and I was like searching and searching and trying to find an answer as to what it was or what the hell it meant until I essentially got to the bottom of it, which is that it
Which is
essentially
TikTok.
is tech exactly. It means nothing. It's completely meaningless. It was picked from a SpongeBob SquarePants episode, but it has no meaning other than it's kind of fun to say what the sigma essentially, but it is essentially empty of a value. And like, and then I was given like it walked back and and I learned a wee bit about what sigma meant as a result of that. But I I do kind of really enjoy those things that are essentially meaningless and are just like out there to kind of fuck with people. I have from an entertainment point of view, I find that really fantastic. So yeah, Sigma slash what the Sigma on this week's Andy's Down with the Streets.
So it reminds me of Brave New World.
Yeah.
Have I talked about, so I just reached into my mind garden really fast
Hmm.
to see if it was mentioned in the caste system or the class system that like that they had the
Oh
alpha,
yes.
the
Uh-huh.
beta, the gamma, maybe delta, and then
Yeah.
the epsilon, upsilon, however you pronounce it.
Yeah.
But Sigma wasn't in there.
Interesting.
Um, but I like that. I like
Yeah.
that. That's
So
a
it's
good
nice.
one.
And I also kind of like because I feel like the whole kind of alpha thing is really shitty a lot of the time. And I
Mhm.
do kind of like this sort of side tangent of people who are not necessarily like, I don't know, leaders or whatever the fuck the concept of an alpha is, alpha males and all that kind of bullshit. But,
Mhm.
somebody who is just kind of low key doing their own thing,
I
being
think
cool.
it's cool when you're referring to like animals, not
Mm,
humans. Like the alpha
yeah,
in the wolf pack,
but
right? But but to it's like they don't name themselves, right? It's all
no,
through behavior.
yes.
And we're like, I'm a total alpha. He's a total alpha. And it's
Oh,
like,
it's the
eh.
people who self-title themselves as that is fucking,
And you're like,
sucks.
that doesn't mean Andrew Tate's a good dude.
Oh no, he is definitely not a good dude. Uh, not even a little, not even close. But yeah. Okay. All
Nice
right.
work.
So, thank you.
Aha.
So, time to move on to our subject of the day, which is our 50th episode spectacular. Woohoo! Um,
Cue fireworks,
Q
maybe.
fireworks, Q fireworks. So, the subject for today is mental health. Oh,
Oh,
psych
yay.
in your face. You thought you were getting a happy episode? No, it's misery. uh,
He's
that
really
made
laughing
it.
too, like almost like too long.
I've been thinking about this all week about how I was going to psych them out. This is the old double bluff. They think they're getting a nice episode. But no, it's time for a mental health quarterly review,
What are you gonna
motherfuckers.
call the episode then?
50th episode spectacular. I need to do like a double bluff.
Yeah, okay, I like it.
Is that a double bluff? Is that a single bluff?
I
Who
think it's a
fucking
single
cares?
bluff.
Yeah, all right, single bluff. Okay, I didn't have the time to do a complete double bluff for you. Sorry, so you just get a
Well,
single
or
bluff.
let us know. I mean, yeah, we're talking in real time.
Yeah,
So if you're
and
listening, rewind and let us know.
and also I don't care. It should
Yeah,
be
I don't
clear
either.
whether it's a double or single bluff. It's whatever. But yeah, so like because we haven't done one in a while, I
Mhm.
think I made the intention that we should have quarterly mental health reviews, but they shouldn't be quarterly. We should just call them quarterly because that's the sort of
Mhm.
thing that makes me laugh. Because I suck. Uh, uh, so yeah, so just but we do think it has been a while, and we think it'd be good to get a catch up and just kind of see where we're kind of both at the minute. And we always think it's a worthwhile conversation.
Yeah. So, do you want to start? Or do you want me to start?
No, you go ahead.
Okay. I'm just going to preface that all of this for everyone by saying 2 weeks ago I was sobbing on Zoom
Hmm.
to Andy. So take all this with a grain of salt. Um, because I think my mental health is it's like just depends on the day and the minute.
Yes.
Right. I'm doing good.
Yep. Love to hear it.
I'm doing good. And I was like, why am I doing so well? Like, um, you know, there's family sickness happening and I'm taking care of everyone. It's been, a lot of stress and a lot of work trying to keep everyone healthy. But like outside of that, I've really worked hard to reduce my stressors. And like I've been doing this actively for like 3 years. And I think I've finally hit the point where like the things that would normally stress me out, I've eliminated
Hmm.
the majority of them. And that has been pretty key.
That's
I
huge.
started I started volunteering. So I've got like three little things that I'm volunteering for. And so it gives me, I love helping. You know
Yep.
this about me. So that gives me that little bump.
Like fills up your
Um,
cup.
yeah. And then I'm on medication
Hell yeah.
and I'm not ashamed of it. And it's helping me and it's working. And um, it just keeps me kind of like in this pretty okay place
Hmm.
for the most part, except for when I'm crying to you. Um, and like I even went down, I don't know if I told you this or not, but I went down, I was doing therapy every week and now I'm down to
Yes, you did.
every other week. So
Hmm.
and sometimes like it's even less than that because of like vacations or whatever. So it's like I think part of it is honestly like this is a little bit of therapy. And like you and I always do
Yeah.
like a check-in before we
Hmm.
record, and that helps me sort of like figure out where I'm at on a weekly basis still and like that check-in. But like on the whole, like I'm doing good and I feel
Awesome.
good. Yeah. And I've got more reasons for that, but that's kind of where that's the broad swath
Broad
of that.
strokes. I love it.
Yeah.
It's good.
So, what about you?
Um, eh, it's tough. I don't know. It's tough to say. And I think I have, I don't know if I voiced this particular thought, but like um, still, I feel like I am constantly like at a crossroads, where I'm just like, I don't really know what direction to go in. I was talking to a friend about it the other day and I'm like, I should probably just build a house at these crossroads. I feel like I spent so much time here. Um,
Mhm.
but like the and I think, and I voiced this to Beth before the podcast started, is that I am like, I'm too busy. I'm so busy all the time.
Mhm.
My schedule's fucking nuts all the time. And like, I don't really see why it needs to be. I mean, but yeah, I look at it and I'm like, there's nothing here I can either afford to cut or want to cut, Like like I I've talked before about like I've got lots of friends and I'm like, that's I hate fucking saying that because it just makes you sound like you're like, aren't I so great? But I don't think about it in those terms. It's more I just love people that like the people I can like make a connection with, and it's more about them getting through my bullshit than me getting through their bullshit. Once I kind of make that connection, I want to hold on to that. And it's important to me. And like continue to like meet people and make these connections. And like I don't want to stop doing that, but like it takes time, like and it takes effort to do all those things. And I don't begrudge it, but it still eats up into a lot of your like days here and there on top of everything else. Um, so I think that like recently the past, so like that's what I've been really enjoying about these trips recently. We've talked about festivals recently, we've talked about holidays recently. They've been really giving me a chance to like disconnect from that from him a bit and kind of maybe kind of like look at it from a different angle. I think um I think we've talked about it already in the podcast. In a few weeks, I'm going over to visit Beth. I'm also going to spend a wee bit of time in Mexico. Whoop, whoop. And I'm very much looking forward to that. But I think that will be a when I come back, I just want to like completely rebuild my calendar and see what makes sense and probably like really kind of think about what how much money I need from different things and just kind of start saying no to stuff a bit more often. Um, but like I have found the come down from these holidays and trips really tough recently, and so we ended up recording last Tuesday, and it was after the festival, and like obviously a contributing factor to this was the fact that I was like drinking and things like that at that weekend, but the next day I had just such a packed day, and I had a yoga class first thing. I had a yoga class at 10 a.m. And on my way there, I was just like sobbing, like really kind of deep, heavy sobs, just like crying at the top of my lungs. And I was like, I fucking don't know how I'm gonna do this. Like went in with sunglasses on till like my eyes dried up, taught the class, was actually okay. Somehow I came out, I immediately started crying again, and like then I had to go into a dog walk, kept sunglasses on, blah blah blah. And end of the day, feeling fine. And it was just like this is the ups and downs of this are fucking nightmare, honestly.
It's like whiplash.
It is, and it's like I can't predict it, and like I that day in particular because it felt so extreme. I was like, I need to vocalize this. I need to talk to somebody, and I knew I was seeing my mom the next day, and it's always a tough thing talking to family, especially about it because I don't let them know maybe the depths of it because I think it would really upset them and I think that would upset me and I don't see a ton of value there for either one of us. But I find it hard to, especially with them, to keep up the sort of mask, a lot of the time. So I saw her the next day and I told her about it and like immediately started getting upset. And it's just her reaction. She cares about me. She immediately was like, don't get upset, don't get upset. And I'm like, it's almost virtually impossible for me to talk to her or the family about this without getting upset. And whenever I expressed how I was feeling and where I was kind of at, she she was just trying to get her head around it. She was like, well, what's wrong? What's the matter? And I'm like, I don't know. I fucking wish I had an answer for that, but I don't. Um, and kind of galvanized me in terms of like I have been really demoralized with the process of working with local doctors and things like that in terms of
Hmm.
I think I might have mentioned it to you before, maybe not on pod. The last sort of conversation I had with my GP, he was like, I guess, it may just be a stage where you've got to like accept this. And it really frustrated me because it was like, I don't know if you understand what you're asking me to accept, really. Honestly, I don't think you do. And I got really pissed off with it, and I was just like, I feel like the my path with my GP, my local doctor, will be throwing different antidepressants at me and seeing what works. And I don't think I want to do that. I just certainly not aimlessly. I don't think there's any value in that. And I don't really want to be like a guinea pig and go through the ups and downs of coming off an antidepressant, going on another one. Uh,
I know what you're talking about. I
yeah.
know that.
So like, so I have been encouraged to contact him again, and I think I will. But because everything's so in flux at the minute, I'm going to wait till I come back because I don't think there's any point in me starting a new process until I am actually here in the country for a chunk of time. Um, but I think, and I've probably voiced this before as well, I really would like a diagnosis. Now, I know that a diagnosis is not the like be all and end all and will not be the answer to everything, but it may offer direction, which would be useful because I feel like right now it's like flailing around in the dark and hoping we find something, you know.
I
So
know
yeah,
exactly what, like, I know exactly what you're talking about.
yeah.
You
And I
know,
know you do.
not related so much to depression, but like having long COVID
Yeah.
and that whole
Yes.
year of them being like, we don't know what's wrong with you. We don't
Yeah.
know what's wrong with you. We don't know what this is. We don't know what to do for you. Maybe this is just it, you know, like we have no answers. And it's, um, I wonder, because our countries are so different and Americans are so blunt,
Yeah.
you know, when you're like, you know, he's like, well, that, you know, your GP is like, this is may just be what it is. You know, I would put that's a point where I would push back.
Yeah.
Like I would have to go home and think about it for 2 weeks,
Yes.
right? I wouldn't be able to voice it in that moment. I would just, you know, because you just want to say, you know, yes to whatever they're saying.
Yeah.
But I would say, you know, I'm not willing to accept that.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know, I really need to work towards a diagnosis. You know, if there are other people that you could recommend
Yeah.
instead of you that would be willing to work with me on this, you know, or get a team together of people to support me because I need it.
Well, I mean, like I think the circumstances as well are particularly difficult right now because, and we've talked about this before, because like our national
Mhm.
health service is in
Shit.
crisis,
Yeah.
especially for mental health resources. There just isn't any. So I think I need to go private for something. You know, I think I can get diagnosis privately. But I think that there's logic in having a through line from this, you know, a referral from him with details in terms of what we've done so far, you know.
Yeah. You
Um,
don't want to
I don't want to start again.
start over.
No,
No.
I don't see any point
No.
in that. Um,
And and I think I sent you the letter that I wrote. Maybe I didn't, but I if I anytime I meet with a new person,
oh,
I'm like, you know, like I have these I have all these issues. I want you to know ahead of time so I don't have to lay it out for you and
yeah,
explain it all. But like I have medical PTSD at this
yeah,
point. It's CP, it's complex PTSD. It's CPTSD. You know, I need this from you. I need this from you. If this isn't the right fit, I don't even want to come in kind of thing and waste
yeah.
your time and waste my time. I don't have the energy for that. So I spent, I don't know, 2 days crying, writing that letter.
I think you've told me about that, but I don't know if you've sent it to me. So I would be, if you don't mind, that does
Yeah.
like be of value because I remember you telling me the concept of that, and I was like, that's a fucking great idea.
Yeah, but I'm gonna say it's not easy to do
I will bet.
either,
Yeah.
because you're like you have to go there and like
Yeah.
write down all your shit and in a way that, you know, someone can understand, but you actually have to go there and write down all your
Yeah.
shit.
It sounds a wee bit
And
similar to
it's hard.
no, 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 sorry. Just like in terms of like I had like an NHS review to see whether they wanted to take me any further, and it was just pouring through it all, and it was intense and painful, and yeah.
So I would agree that you, yeah, meet with them again,
Yeah.
you know, write something up that talks about it. I have a hard time vocalizing myself,
Yeah.
and I find if I send, not to sound like a giant hippie bitch, but like if I send my intentions to the doctor of what I want to get out of, it's a relationship, right? What you want
Yeah.
to get out of that relationship and what help you need, and send it to them ahead of time, then they're already working on it before you get there.
Yeah. This is it. Yeah, absolutely. No, I like that a lot. Uh, yeah, it's like, and I think, um,
And I'm glad you cried.
oh, I cry all the time.
I'm glad. I'm glad
Yeah.
because, you said, you cried then, you did all the things, but by the end of the day, you felt okay. And I
Yeah.
get that it's like, it's a fucking roller coaster. But part of why you probably felt okay was because you had some kind of like emotional catharsis
Yeah.
and you let it out a little bit.
I absolutely need to like, podcast I was listening to recently, and one of the guys was talking about, and he was like, I don't think I've cried this decade. And I'm like, what? What the fuck? Seriously? Okay. That's kind of scary a little bit, but I guess I kind of understand it. But like, uh, um, I I'm a big believer in the catharsis of a good cry. It's certainly for me anyway. It's really kind of valuable. But like, I also don't. I do it. I tend to do it privately because it raises too many questions with people. People want to know what's up, what's going on, blah blah blah, and like I never have good answers for those things.
Mhm.
So, and and also then a little bit of people wanting to like help, but it's how can we fix that? What's happening right now? You know, we're out having a nice night out, and he's crying. How how do we get back to having a nice night out again?
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
Not that that's happened too often, but it has happened.
Yeah. And that's just like, that's human nature.
Yeah,
But all to say, like, I totally get where you're at.
yeah. Um,
And I'm sorry.
uh, no, don't worry. Like, thank you, but like, it's
I also think, you know, it'll be good for us to be in the same place and
yeah.
just kind of talk it through.
I agree. I agree. Um, I it's yeah. As I say, it's an ongoing thing, as you know, and I definitely in terms of like the time, and and I'm better at like thinking about this time. Like in the past, I would have maybe went, "Oh, you've wasted 6 months by going, I don't want to engage with this process anymore." But
Mhm.
I'm now having a bit more patience in terms of going, well, it just wasn't the right time for me to go any further with it. I wasn't in the right place to go with it any further with it. It's not like, you know, the past 6 months or whatever, however much time has passed since I've like stopped engaging with this process has been misery. It has been, it's been up and down, but like it always kind of is. So like
Mhm.
it's it's and I think you have to sometimes or sorry, I have to sometimes at least hit those sort of, really kind of deep lows to kind of go, okay, right, this is it's time to get back in and look at this again.
Mhm. And I definitely like also hit points where, because I've done the antidepressant shuffle, this,
Yeah,
um, to the point of like insanity,
yeah,
literally. And there have been times where I'm just like, I have to take a break. I just need a break. I
yeah,
can't keep like putting myself through this cycle of like feeling awful for another two weeks to a month, you know? Like I know within a few days, right? And they're like, but
yeah,
it takes a few, and it's like not for with my body. My body's fucking weird. It doesn't
yeah,
work the same way as other people's. I never have the same response. I'm always allergic when other people are not. Like so it's almost like I feel like you're in that place of um what works for most people just doesn't work for you.
yeah,
And not to say it, just you need someone that is willing to explore other paths. with
Yes, I
you.
think so. Very much so. Yeah.
So you need to go to the jungle and take all the ayahuasca,
Hell
obviously.
yeah. Give me it all. Give me that. Give me that ayahuasca that's the size of a fist. I'll take the whole thing. Let's go.
Well, yeah, and it's like here, I just, it's like there's so many options. And like I have at this point, it's been, it's taken 4 years, but I have a care team where I'm
Yeah.
like, if I'm having this issue, I talk to this person. If I'm having an issue, I talk to this person. And it's like you have one person
Yes.
who
And
doesn't
like
want to help you.
no. I mean I don't he has been compassionate and I and also like he is getting I'm sure brutalized in terms of like what he has on his plate. And so
Oh
I do have
yeah.
sympathy for him. And and he like at one point whenever I had like through this, I had like stopped calling him. He did call me back. Like he made an effort and got and like, reached out to me because he was thinking about me and worried about me. And I really appreciated that because like, as I say, I'm sure it would be
That's never
very,
happened to me.
no, really, no.
Yeah,
So
no.
I appreciated that because I'm sure I could have very easily have got lost in the mix of all the other shit that he has to deal with. So I did appreciate that, I must say. But yeah. So we'll see how it goes. But like I think in a I suppose it all comes out of that sort of crossroads thing. I mean, it also applies to the sort of mental health stuff where I feel like I am like um turning a corner or heading in a different direction. And as I say, sometimes drastic things need to happen for that to materialize.
Hmm. And just your metaphor of building a house at the crossroads.
Yeah.
It's, it's terrible and funny.
I know it is.
Sorry.
I like to be able to joke
Like
about
that's
it.
a country music song.
It is, yeah, 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 yeah. It's so true.
But like it's a thing. I've been there. I
Yeah,
literally have a poem I wrote called like like sitting at the crossroads,
yeah,
and just like what that's like and not knowing, which direction and just waiting for the devil to come and make you an offer,
yeah.
Do you ever see The Devil and Daniel Webster?
Yes, I think I
Okay.
have.
Mm. Yeah, so this is totally off topic, but there's
No, it's
like
good.
this concept of the crossroads and the devil is like built into a lot of different things. It's also the artist Jack Johnson was a blues artist,
Uh-huh.
really one of the best of all time. And they always said that he met the devil at the crossroads and he sold his soul to be able to play the
Yeah.
guitar, the blues. So, and I
Because
believe it.
there's the fiddle song as well.
Hmm.
It's kind of about
Yep.
that sort of
Yep.
meta,
Yep.
yeah, as well.
God, who sang that? Oh, I
Don't
know exactly what
remember.
you're talking about. Look in your mind garden. But
Oh
yeah,
no. God.
I know, right? Um, I just
That went down to Georgia by Rolly
that went down to go.
Daniels.
Yeah,
Charlie Daniels.
that. So I just want to like while you're here, I just want you to like get on ketamine and like go on
Hell
a ketamine
yeah.
trip, right? Like see all the doctors, do all
Yeah.
the things.
I
I
do want
just
to get I do want to try cat. Like I mean like and because I heard Andy Richter
Mhm.
he was being interviewed by is
Conan
Nick
O'Brien.
no well yeah but it was
I wish.
Neil Brennan, I think. The guy
Uh-huh.
that so he's got his podcast. I see some of his stuff sometimes, and he was talking
Mhm.
about that. And he like I really liked the way he was talking about it. He was talking about like whenever he went on antidepressants in the 90s, and it was at a time when his friends were like, "You're on antidepressants, like you're going to try to get off them as soon as possible, right?" They had this sort of really kind of like negative attitude about being on them, and he's like, "It's so insane to me because it's kind of like." Going up to somebody who has diabetes and being like, you're going to try to get off the insulin, right? Aren't you? Because and I'm like, that's such a great way of looking at it because it is not like I think a lot. I don't think it's quite the same now, but like this sort of thought that it's something that you can kind of get past. And for some people, maybe that's true, but for other people, I don't think it is true. And you need to actually take steps like it is a medical thing that you need to like treat like that.
Mhm.
Um, but like he talked about it, Neil Brennan was talking about ketamine therapy and how that really was transformative for him and things like that. and there just aren't the options here for a lot of that. I mean, in really extreme cases, there are. I know there's experimentation with like magic mushrooms and like psilocybin and whatnot in like
Mm.
London, but like, you know, I'm not going to get that in Northern Ireland, not a chance, you know, or ketamine
No,
therapy. I
no.
think in very limited forms there are, but like, unless I am, you know, I am actively going to kill myself or other people right now, it's unlikely I'll get anything like that, you know.
Hmm. Yeah,
Mm.
maybe I'll look into it while you're here.
Something else that I was thinking that
Yes,
it occurred to
yes.
me that we need to do whenever I'm over with you is, and I was having a conversation with friends when I was over there, was about I have always wanted to get like a manicure and pedicure.
Oh my God, yeah.
So we did need to go and get a mani pedi together, right? And we can talk about
Okay.
it.
I know exactly where I'll take you.
Perfect. Because you know, it's another one of those things that's kind of like, to me, it's so funny because like you know, people should take care of their hands and their feet. They're important.
They
Both of them are
should.
very important. And guys
They should.
don't, you
They
know, they
don't.
don't.
And
Like, and I,
I'm married to one who always has grease on his
yeah,
fingers.
like I don't do it often enough, but like I do moisturize my hands and things like that. But I don't really take, and like but I don't really take good care of my hands really apart from that. But at least it's something that I do, you know. Whereas I'd say that is, you know, above and beyond for a lot of guys. Like, you know what I
Hmm.
mean? Like,
Hmm.
and certainly whenever you grow up in the place that I grew up in, and there's a lot of like farmers and stuff like that, and you see guys with these like hard, like calloused hands, like just, and it's almost like and like you see them moving them, and it's like it looks difficult. It looks like they are. Had they been treated a bit better or given a bit of TLC, they'd probably be in better, you know, condition. But again, we can't do that. We're men.
We're hard.
Grr.
We'll totally go for mani pedis.
Oh
And
hell
sometimes they
yeah.
even offer you like champagne or wine.
Oh hell yeah.
So something weird. I don't know if I've mentioned this to you or not. I think it's like I've been having this like hate relationship with yoga.
Oh, mm-hmm. Yes, you mentioned something like this about this before. Mm-hmm.
Okay, so like I've been like thinking like what the fuck is your problem? And
Yes.
so Mike was out of town. I laid my mat out in the sunroom and just like left it out and in hopes that it would be easier to like do the yoga
Yeah.
and like sit down and journal. And I realized like, and stop me if I've already told you this, but
Mm-hmm.
like I realized that like when I'm on the mat, it takes me back to when I was super sick and like in a really,
Interesting.
really not okay emotional state in like so many different ways.
Hmm.
And that's how I feel when I get on the mat and I start doing yoga. Then I'm just like thinking about like these things I'm angry about, people I'm mad at, ways I've been taken advantage of. Um, and so I've been forcing myself to do the yoga and like sit with the feelings.
Mm-hmm.
And like they it's a I don't know how else to explain it other than like I'm just letting the feelings just kind of like move through me.
Mm-hmm.
And then it kind of goes away a little bit.
Okay.
And like each time I'm kind of trying it, like all my mind isn't it's kind of starting to like go into other places. Like, oh, what should I make for dinner? That's what I want to be thinking about, not like, oh my God, I hate this person so much. Or like, God, I was doing this and I was dying, or like,
Yeah.
like those thoughts are not fun to revisit.
Absolutely.
So like that's one area that's like, something that used to bring me so much joy and like healing and did help me when I needed it. Now is like and
Yeah.
not an enemy, but like doesn't feel like it's my friend, and it's really sad.
That sucks. Like,
Hmm.
and I wonder,
Like the last good yoga experience I had was going to the studio and having you teach when I was in
oh
Ireland.
yeah. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Like,
And that's when I was like, oh, this feels good.
it's kind of a shame because I think you mentioned like there wasn't really much in the way of yoga classes in your area, right?
Mm-mm,
Because I
mm-mm.
I think I have noticed that I really struggle if I'm just like get on a mat and I don't have something to work through myself. I'm just
Yeah.
like counting the minutes until I get off it, and it's and it, like you know, and it's very much connected to like me not really want to spend time in my own head, particularly. Whereas
It's
like
so hard.
it really is. I mean, it's a fucking nightmare. But like I
And
find
I
if
like I have a video that I
hmm
watch.
hmm
So like someone else is instructing me and I put music on and
hmm
I light the candles and I pull a tarot card ahead of
oh
time.
wow,
And like I'm trying to all of throwing everything at it and I'm still uncomfortable.
yeah, that sucks. I'm sorry to hear it. Like,
Yeah.
eh, hopefully it's a passing thing, and like I wonder, I like I think that like if I wasn't able to do classes with people, I would. I don't know how I feel about like now. Obviously, I'm teaching as well, but like I don't know whether my connection with yoga would kind of drift a wee bit, because I find for me being in a room full of other people who are doing the same sort of stuff is such an essential part of it for me. Like I just love
Mhm.
that energy so much. It
Mhm.
really feeds me. Um, so yeah, we'll
I'm
just
working through it.
yeah, we need to like when I get over there, we'll knock some heads together and get a yoga class going and
I know. And it's like
Ramona.
if I had the energy, like I could teach, right?
Yeah,
Like I've done my 500 hours.
it's true.
So and
But
like I
like
could teach for the schools. I never know when I'm gonna have a good day or bad day, you
exactly,
know?
exactly. So I like I don't, and like and I have got I've very much got to a stage where I'm like I'm happy with how I'm teaching my classes. I really am, but like it's still a lot, like, and it
It's a
also
lot of
like
work.
it's a lot of work, and also like it alters your relationship with yoga as well. And like
Mhm.
I still love yoga, and it still is so important to me, but like it's not quite the same sort of we sort of respite, my we sort of like you know
When you're
desert.
teaching, you're not thinking about your own mind, body, and spirit,
No,
right?
no, not at all. Not at all. So like it has changed the nature of it a little, but like I still, go to classes with people. I love it. That's good for me, so
Mhm.
stay up in the flow. But yeah,
Mhm.
yeah,
Mhm.
excuse me. That yeah, I'm sorry to hear it, and hopefully I'm hoping it's just a passing thing. It's such a like, do you think like in terms of the stuff that you're thinking about, is it particularly related to yoga or does it happen at other times?
Um, that's a good question. I think it's like I think it's I stay so busy
Mhm.
on purpose, like I'm always listening to the radio or
I hear
like
you.
I've always got a voice in my head
Yeah,
or for a podcast or an audiobook. So it's the only time where I'm being instructed to breathe, right? I'm being
yeah.
instructed to think about how my body feels. I'm being instructed to
Mhm.
go where my thoughts are in that moment. And so I think it's like, I think it's particularly yoga because that's the only time that I let myself, you're forced to go there,
You're
right?
supposed to go internally a little bit. Yeah, yeah, at
Yeah.
least a little bit. Yeah,
And I
yeah,
just I avoid it as much as possible.
yes.
So that's part of it.
I hear you. I
Um,
can relate.
so so I wrote down 3 things.
Uh-huh.
So, you're 45, I'm gonna be 45,
Uh-huh.
and I was, like, wondering, like, what you want the next half of your life to look like?
Um,
And then I wrote another one that said, "But if I dreamed big." So,
okay.
let's see what
Like,
comes out for you.
I think it's, the usual refrain for me. I would really like a relationship, to be
Mhm,
perfectly honest with you. I would like to like be in a place where I think I'm ready for a relationship, which is never really, I don't know. That's always feels very kind of just out of grasp for me. And like, that's why I was talking in recent weeks about like the Steve Martin documentary and stuff like that
mhm.
with him. So
'Cause
like that is
his timing is different.
yes, his time is very different. Yeah. If only I had like a successful stand-up comedy career. I'd be in
Yeah.
a very different place now. Maybe I'll do that in the back half. But like that is sort of in terms of like my, you know, I think realistic goals. I would like to be better with myself, and also be at a stage where I can, you know, get into a relationship or at least, you know, date or whatever, you know.
hmm hmm So if you dreamed big,
I'd really like to pursue more creative stuff. So I feel like I would really like to. I really want more than anything. I started reading a book recently, and it was a big. I'm not going to mention the name of the book because it was like it was very popular, and it was like it sold millions of copies. And I'm like,
it was
this.
Twilight.
It was Twilight. It was incredible. It changed my life. Um, a big Edward fan. Yes, I remember the name.
Right.
Yes,
Team Edward.
Team Edward. Yeah. So, but like the writing's so poor, and I'm like, I know I could write better than this. I know that I could. I just need to like, I need to get my ass in gear. It's one of the other reasons why I want to declutter a wee bit because I really want to make space for that again. Um, I think I have the potential in me to do something creative and get it published or whatever. I don't need it to be successful or anything. I just think I would love to put something out there because I feel like it's in me. The potential for that's in me. So that's probably my dream big is to pursue some sort of creative success
hmm
in writing, probably specifically.
hmm So I so for my like what do I want the next half of my
Yep.
life to look like? I was like, I want to be a good parent
Yep.
and like partner and friend. I want to be helpful. I want to go out and like it's hard right now because it was 118 the other day. I just went outside when we took a little break and it's
Mm-hmm.
like it's 110. I'm like, it's so fucking hot.
Fuck.
Um, I'd like to continue traveling
Yep.
and I'd like to keep it as basic and simple as possible.
Yeah, I'd like to echo those things, Mike.
Mhm.
Yeah, that was great. I really like that. Yeah, yeah, I like
But
them.
then if I dreamed big, I want
Mm-hmm.
our podcast to explode.
Sure.
I want to get a chance to work in the film industry.
Yes.
I fucking love movies. I
Yeah,
love
I know you
them.
do.
I want to
Mm-hmm.
know how everything is done. I want to be on set. I don't know if I want to direct, but like I want to definitely like produce
Mm-hmm.
and just be involved. I would also like to publish a book. I don't care if it's like creatively
Yeah,
successful, but just to do that. And I want
I
to get
think
my health back to like 100% of what it was.
I think yeah, in terms of I love it. It's great. Like I was gonna say that in terms of the book, I think we both have it within us. Do you know what I mean?
Mhm.
But I think I don't know about how you feel about this, but like I feel like I'm also kind of like if these things don't happen, they don't happen. Do you know what I mean?
Mhm.
I'm putting less
Mhm.
pressure on myself in terms of what those
Yeah.
things could
Yeah.
potentially
Keep
be.
it basic and
And if
simple.
it happens, it happens. Yes, exactly. You know, and I think that there's value there, you know. But as I say, I do think there is potential in both of us for things like that, you know.
Mhm. And I think you're right. Like it just comes with like making time and space for it.
Yeah,
It's just, you know, like when I make my daily to do list, it's never like sometimes I write like read, like
yeah,
sometimes it is that basic, but it's never like do something creative,
yeah.
do something that brings you joy. Like I don't write that shit down. I'm like laundry, bath, you know,
Yeah.
garbage,
Yeah. This,
walk
this,
dog,
the stuff that you have to do, you know.
right? It's so that like that I can adjust if I think about it hard enough,
Yeah.
maybe. Okay, so over the next like 3 months
Hmm.
to 4 months, depending on when our next quarterly, air
Yeah.
quote, quarterly mental
Yeah.
health
Like it'd be
review.
2026.
What what do you what would you like to focus on
Um,
to like keep yourself a little like even keeled?
I think probably in the short term, it would be like I want to come up with a better sort of plan for medication or
Mhm.
whatever that looks like, whether it means me going back to therapy or whatever.
A
A,
diagnosis would be
a
good.
diagnosis would be huge. And yeah, I honestly think that I also get that I also need to like just declutter my I just need to like pare down. I need to like figure out what my needs are exactly. I really need to like properly take a look at my earnings and things like that and start saying no to things and just like see where I stand and like maybe actually because like there's a few things, especially being self-employed, there's a few things here and there that are just so they can just disappear like very quickly and it's quite frustrating. I think I probably just need to be like more aggressive in terms of like making space for those because it just makes my life more stressful for very little
Yeah.
upsell
Cost
really.
versus, what is it? Cost versus reward,
Yeah, exactly.
or cost benefit, whatever.
Yes, exactly. Is yeah. I think that's
Mhm.
that's it. That was complicated.
I think
Complicated.
when yeah, like I'm, I hope, I like to think that I help people
You
with
do.
this a little bit. Okay. So when you're here, let's just like sit down and really kind of like look it all over and
Yeah.
make a little bit of a plan.
Yeah. No, I think that's good. Yeah, but
Okay.
definitely love
Okay.
it. What about you?
Um, Napping.
Amazing.
Uh, I put yoga on here
Yeah,
because it's like it's one of my first loves,
I
you
know.
know. I'm trying to stay present, and
Yeah.
like I know mindful is a buzzword right now that is hard, but like I am like, so I use present. Like I'm trying to like, when I'm feeling shitty, I'm trying to be aware of it
Yeah.
and not letting it overwhelm me,
Yeah.
to the point where like I shove it away. And like I'm trying to ask the questions of like, okay, you're feeling like this, why? And sometimes I get answers and sometimes I don't, but I'd like to keep asking the question.
Hmm.
I'm gonna try not to watch the news,
Yeah.
and I want to hang out with you.
Hell yeah. We're doing it.
Yep.
And we're going to be doing it IRL very
I
soon.
know.
Woo
If you
woo.
know, you know.
I know. Woohoo. No, they're great. I love them. Like, that's a good one. Like, I think it's one of the reasons as well, like, in terms of where my head's been at recently, is that, like, I had been reading the Noam Chomsky book, which was
Mm,
a really kind of stark look at the world. I think he's right about a lot of stuff. And, like, because, like, as I said, it's like 25, 30 years old, but, like, it was just not good for my headspace. I was also watching videos on, like, climate change, like the actual science behind it, where we're at, where we're likely to go, what's the
yeah.
worst case scenario, the best case scenario, and I'm like, I need to stop with this. Like, I like staying informed, but I need to like take a step back from all this for a while. I'm plenty informed that I just need to be ignorant for a bit. So yeah, just filter in the stuff that comes in.
Hmm. Hmm. It's hard
It is.
because they try
You
to slide it in,
they
you
do, and
know.
you want to stay informed, but you also don't want to like, overwhelm yourself.
Yeah.
Love it. Okay. I think we're good then for our topic.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think I wonder should we actually let them know that we're doing mental health? I don't know. Or should we trick them? Hmm.
Uh,
You'll know now if you're listening to this whether we
Maybe
have or
we'll
not.
say spectacular, but then we'll also say trigger warning.
Just in brackets,
Mental health. Yes.
tight in tiny font, mental health.
Yes.
Shh,
Mental health.
whisper it.
Shh.
All right, I love it. Okay. So Beth, then to ask you the question, especially pertinent this week, is what's been
Yeah.
bringing you joy?
Cameron Crowe.
Hell yeah.
So I rewatched, and it wasn't very well received, but I rewatched Aloha.
I don't think I've seen it.
Oh my God.
Okay.
It's so good. It's on Netflix right now. Um, and it's Bradley Cooper, who, everyone loves a good Bradley Cooper. It's
Sure.
Emma Stone. Like the
Hmm.
cast is amazing. Um, it's John Krasinski, and it's I can't remember her name,
Emma
but she was
Stone.
in,
No, you
yeah,
said Emma Stone
no,
already. Sorry. It's what do you call
yeah.
her?
She's in everything. She was in Mean
Rachel
Girls.
Rachel McAdams.
Yeah, so the cast is amazing. The story is amazing. Um, the his movie, I just like, I'm super into movies that make me feel something and
Hmm.
shows that make me feel something, and I totally just like, it was so good. I cried at the end. This story is so sweet. Um, I highly recommend it, and I like yeah, I'm obsessed. Now my mania is all Cameron Crowe movies, so I'm going back and like rewatching
Nice.
everything. But
Some
I
good
would
ones in there.
say I like it as much as Almost Famous.
Okay. Oh my, I love that movie. So good.
I know.
Okay.
So, what
I'll
about
check it
you?
out. So I've been I've been really enjoying pop music recently. Like, so I have I heard for the first time about 3 or 4 weeks ago. Do you know Chapel Roan?
I have heard her name because she's on the celebrity circuit now,
She
and I follow
essentially
celebrity gossip.
she
Is it
essentially
good?
like
She good?
she's fantastic. I really think I listened to her full album. I really because I heard she has a single that came out called Good Luck Babe, and I
Mm,
listened to her album. I think that she's really fantastic. Like she's like weird in an interesting way. Do you know what I mean? Like she like a lot of the time she performs and she like wears massive wigs and like that kind of like powdered white sort of French courtesan sort of like face
mm-hmm.
sort of makeup
Mm-hmm.
and things like that. Uh,
Cover up all the bad skin.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, yeah. And but like I've been really digging her. Like, and I think she's really fantastic. Like I say, apparently, like what was about four, she had an album out at the start of the year, but over the past 6 months, her fame has essentially like skyrocketed,
Sh-
basically.
I read
But
an article the other day where she was basically like, please stop asking me
yes,
about don't say my real name and don't ask me about my personal life.
yeah,
And I was like, good for you.
yeah. And she's like people are pushing back on that, and I'm like, that is, I think, how I first properly started. Like I had heard the name, but I didn't know much about her. And then I saw that her pushing back, how she was like, this is too much already, because people are like stalking me. They're like, going around to my house. They're like going up to my brother and things like that. And it's not fucking cool. Like, but
Mm.
people do get obsessive. But like I just generally, I mean, I was talking about Charlie XCX earlier on, a month or so ago, on the pod, and I wasn't crazy about Sabrina. Yeah, have you heard that Espresso song, Sabrina Carpenter?
No,
Okay,
no.
so she's also having a moment, and I was
Yep.
not fussed on that single at all. But other people were like, "Yeah, she sounds quite good." So I listened to her full album this morning, and it's pretty good.
Okay.
There's some good stuff on it. I don't think I think Chapel Roan's way more interesting from my point of
Okay.
view. But like,
Okay.
check out pop music, guys. There's plenty of awesome stuff in there. I have
I was
like,
actually gonna pull up because I'm still stuck in like I think I'm still stuck in the 90s or like early
uh-huh.
2000s. And I'm trying to like introduce the kids to stuff from that era, but now I'm like someone recommended it's a band called Hollow Cove. They're Australian, if
No,
you've
I
heard
haven't
of
heard of them.
them.
Mhm.
And I've been doing yoga to their music actually
Nice.
because
Okay.
it's super mellow.
Okay.
But she was like, one of the songs reminds me of you, and I always love like knowing that someone's thinking of me when they're listening to music
Yeah, absolutely.
for some reason, right? It's like a little compliment.
It is.
So one of yeah, so they're a good one. So yeah, like I was like, I need to start listening to more music. And I had that realization too, like when I was like driving in the car with you and you've always got music playing, and I
Yeah.
knew like 1 out of 100 of the songs.
Yeah.
So it's like I gotta broaden my horizons.
I think I just like because I mean, like, everybody loves music, but like I
Yeah,
fucking love music, and like
yeah.
I really make an effort to like, and if I hear something that even sounds kind of interesting to me in the radio, I Shazam it. It's on my Shazam playlist. I have a proper listen to it, and so I can figure out, is this for me? Is it not for me?
Mhm.
And like if so, I then maybe delve into the artist's back catalog a little bit more, which is kind of what happened with Chapel Roan and Charlie XCX, because I heard songs from both of them and I was like, holy shit, this is great. Who is this? And that just led me down the rabbit hole. But yeah, music rules, guys. But yeah, check out Chapel Roan. Check out, and I especially with her stuff, I'm finding such an emotional connection with it. That's really hitting
Good.
me, and which I really love. It gets one of the awesome things about music. But yeah, her song "Good Luck, Babe," which I think is a few months old, is rad. But listen to her whole album
Okay.
as well.
Okay. Fine,
Do
Andy.
it.
Okay.
Not just Beth, all of you. Okay. But yeah, I think that's
Yes, alpha
good.
male.
Yeah, no, no, I'm Sigma, I'm Sigma. No. Oh, how the tables have turned.
I know it's true. All right, everybody, find us, listen to us, bendypodcast.com.
Hmm.
Happy 50th.
Yeah, happy 50th indeed. What's 50th anniversary?
Let me look in my mind garden. Probably
Uh,
like diamonds,
it's gold. So,
gold.
so send
All
us
right.
gold gifts, please, everybody, if you
Yep.
would be so kind. Thank you very much. All right, folks.
24 karat, please.
Yes, please, at a minimum. I don't know if there's a higher cart number than that, but if there
I
is,
think it's just
please.
that's just it just gets meltier the higher you
Melty as
go.
I can. I'll take melty gold. All right, folks.
All
Uh,
right.
okay. In that case, as always, we like to remind you to stay Bendy. Awesome. A very appropriate, regal
Awesome.
one for our anniversary.
Yes.
All right, bye. We love you.
Bye. 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 Bye.
Nice.
Totally recorded.